Follow me? Bradley stands, adjusting his belt with a satisfied smirk. Watch this, boys. I'm going to give this place some real feedback. Maybe get us a free meal out of it. Brad, maybe you should just, one friend starts. Relax. I know how to handle these situations. Julien leads Bradley through the restaurant. Servers step aside, exchanging knowing glances. Diners watch curiously. Bradley walks with exaggerated confidence, nodding at other patrons as if he's a celebrity. They approach a polished oak door at the end of a short hallway lined with framed reviews and awards. Right through here, sir, Julien says, opening the door to reveal a tastefully appointed office. Bradley freezes mid-step as his eyes land on a large framed photograph on the wall. Julien in a chef's coat, receiving an award. Below it, a brass plaque reads, Julien Tremblay, owner and executive chef. Bradley's mouth opens, then closes. His eyes dart from the photograph to Julien, who calmly walks behind an elegant desk and sits down. Please, have a seat, Mr. Turner. Bradley mumbles automatically. Bradley Turner. Mr. Turner. You wanted to speak with the owner? I'm listening. Bradley remains standing, suddenly aware of the restaurant staff gathering outside the glass wall of the office, trying not to stare too obviously. You own this place? Oui, for 8 years now. Julien gestures to the chair again. Please, sit. Bradley lowers himself slowly into the chair, his previous bravado evaporating. But you were serving tables. I work the floor 3 nights a week, Julien explains. It keeps me connected to my guests and my staff. My grandmother taught me that a good restaurant owner should be able to do every job in the building. Through the glass, Bradley can see his friends watching with a mixture of horror and amusement. One gives him a thumbs up that feels more like mockery than support. Look, I didn't mean to. You wished to provide feedback about our service, Julien interrupts smoothly. As owner, I value customer input. Please, continue. Bradley tugs at his collar. Well, you mentioned something about staff training. Or was it portion sizes? Or perhaps our pricing structure? Each question lands like a precision strike. Julien's tone remains professional, his posture relaxed, but his eyes are sharp and attentive. I was just joking around, having some fun. I see, and mocking someone's accent and profession. This is what Americans consider fun? From the corner of his eye, Bradley notices the Maimon Tridi whispering to his friends, who are now laughing openly. One slaps his knee, clearly enjoying Bradley's predicament. Listen, I didn't know you were that I was what, Mr. Turner? The owner? And if I were just a waiter, as you put it, would that make your behavior acceptable? Julien leans forward slightly, folding his hands on the desk. Every movement is controlled, elegant. The same grace he showed while serving, now revealing its true power. I'm curious, Mr. Turner. What exactly did you hope to accomplish by speaking with the owner? Bradley shifts in his seat, his cowboy hat now in his hands being twisted nervously. Look, I thought maybe the service could be a bit more, I don't know, friendly? Julien raises an eyebrow. More friendly than addressing you as sir and gentleman. More friendly than offering recommendations tailored to your preferences. More friendly than accommodating your request to speak with management immediately during our busiest dinner service. Each question hangs in the air. Through the glass walls, Bradley can see his friends have stopped laughing and are now avoiding eye contact, suddenly fascinated by their menus. When you requested to see the owner, Julien continues, was it perhaps to complain about the waiter with the accent you found so amusing? The one making, what was it, $10 an hour? Listen, I'm sorry, okay? I didn't know. That I own this restaurant? Julien finishes for him. Or that the waiter you were mocking graduated from Le Cordon Bleu in Paris. Or perhaps you didn't know that before opening Le Château, I was head chef at La Maison in New York, where we earned 2 Michelin stars? Bradley's face flushes deep red. I didn't mean any disrespect. Nah? Interesting. Julien leans back slightly. Because disrespect is precisely what you delivered from the moment you walked through my door. Bradley glances toward his friends, searching for support, but they're actively pretending not to notice his predicament. What happens now? Bradley asks, his voice smaller than before. Julian's expression softens just slightly. That depends on you, Mr. Turner. Am I being kicked out? I believe in second chances, Mr. Turner, even for those who may not deserve them. Julien stands, buttoning his jacket with a fluid motion. You have 2. The dinner rush at Le Château Bistro is in full swing. Classical French music plays softly as conversations blend into a pleasant hum. The clink of fine china and crystal creates a symphony of elegance. Good evening and welcome to Le Château Bistro. My name is Julien Tremblay, and I will be your server tonight. Julien's voice is warm, his French-Canadian accent adding charm to his impeccable English. He stands poised at the table, leather-bound menus in hand. Well, looky here, boys. We got ourselves a real Canadian waiter. Bradley Turner's voice cuts through the ambiance like a chainsaw. His Texan drawl is deliberately louder than necessary. The cowboy hat perched on his head looks absurdly out of place among the restaurant's elegant decor. I hope y'all have bigger portions than they told us Canadians usually serve. A man's got to eat. His 3 friends chuckle on cue as Julien sets down the menus with practiced grace. Our portions are crafted to provide the perfect balance of flavors, sir. Our chef believes in quality over quantity. Quality over quantity? That's what people say when they're serving you a pea on a plate for $50. Bradley's laugh booms. Across the restaurant, several patrons glance over with disapproval. Perhaps I can recommend our chef's signature dish. The duck confit is particularly... Duck confit? Is that even English? Speak American, buddy. Julien doesn't flinch. His smile remains genuine, his posture perfect. May I suggest our wine pairing menu? We have an excellent selection of... Listen here, Frenchie. Just bring us your strongest beers. 4 of them, and none of that Canadian watered-down stuff. Bradley turns to his friends and stage whispers, loud enough for nearby tables to hear. Man, I bet this guy's making what? $10 an hour? And they make him talk all fancy like he's someone important. The entire section freezes. Even Bradley's friends look uncomfortable. Julian's smile never wavers, but something flickers in his eyes. I'll fetch those beers right away, gentlemen, Julien says, his voice remaining steady. Would you like some time with the menus? Yeah. Just make sure those beers are cold. Bradley waves him off dismissively. As Julien glides away, Bradley loudly comments, What's with these gentlemen comments? Guy acts like he's serving the Queen. Julien returns moments later with a tray of perfectly poured Belgian ales, each in its proper glassware. He sets them down with precision. These are imported from Belgium, aged in oak barrels for 6 months. I thought you might appreciate something with more character than our local offerings. Well, look at Mr. Fancy Beer Expert. Didn't know they taught that in waiter school. Bradley snorts, taking a sloppy sip that leaves foam on his upper lip. When Julien returns to take their order, Bradley makes a show of squinting at the menu. What's with these tiny portions? And these prices? What's that in real money? You know, American dollars? Our currency exchange is approximately. I was joking, Shakespeare. I know how to use a calculator. Bradley rolls his eyes. What's good here that won't leave me hungry? The beef bourguignon is exceptional, Julien suggests. Beef bour? What now? Can't you just call it beef stew? It's a traditional French dish, sir, slow-cooked for 8 hours with a... Yeah, I'll take that, and tell your chef to make it American-sized. A woman at the next table whispers to her companion. Bradley catches it and grins, clearly enjoying being the center of attention. So, Juliana. Julien, sir? Whatever. How long you been working here? This seems like one of those fancy places where the boss makes all the money while you guys do all the work. Am I right? Julien arranges the silverware slightly. I find the compensation quite fair. Bet your boss treats you like crap, huh? Let me talk to the owner. Julien tilts his head slightly. A curious smile plays at the corners of his mouth. Are you sure you'd like to speak with the owner, sir? Yeah, that's what I said. Bradley grins at his friends. Got a problem with your hearing too? Behind the bar, a bartender quickly turns away, shoulders shaking with suppressed laughter. A hostess suddenly finds her reservation book fascinating. From the kitchen door, a chef peeks out, eyebrows raised. Very well, Julien says. May I ask what you wish to discuss with the owner? That's between me and him, Bradley says, puffing out his chest. Maybe I want to tell him his staff needs some training in customer service. Bradley's friends shift uncomfortably in their seats. One of them mutters, Come on, Brad, the service is fine. No, Jimmy, this is important. These people need to know how we do things back home. Right, Franois? It's Julien, sir. That's what I said. Julien nods politely. The owner's office is just down that hallway. Would you care to... Options. You may apologize, hackeroos, sincerely, sued, and return to your table to enjoy a meal prepared by my excellent kitchen staff. Or you may leave now and never return to Le Château Bistro. The choice is yours. Bradley looks up momentarily, relieved. I choose the first one. I'll apologize. Julien nods once, gesturing toward the door. As they step out of the office, Julien signals discreetly to the maire traitee, who approaches with a leather folio. Inside is Bradley's billy for drinks alone. It's nearly double what he expected to pay. I didn't order all this, Bradley protests, looking at the charges. The Belgian imports you requested are our premium selection. The ones you said were better have some character. Julien's smile never wavers. There's also a modest table holding. Fee, as you've occupied the space for over 30 minutes without ordering food. Bradley stares at the number at the bottom of the bill. His face goes pale, then red again. This is highway robbery. This is fine dining, Mr. Turner. Perhaps in the future you might want to check the prices before making assumptions. The restaurant has grown quieter. Every eye seems to be on Bradley now. His friends are suddenly engrossed in conversation, pointedly ignoring his predicament. Fine, Bradley mutters, reaching for his wallet. He fumbles with his credit card, dropping it once before managing to place it in the folio. Your friends' drinks are on separate tabs, Julien notes. They've already paid. Bradley's head snaps up to look at his companions, who shrug apologetically. Sorry, Brad, one says, not sounding sorry at all. We figured you'd want to handle this yourself. Bradley's jaw clenches as he signs the receipt with a shaky hand. His signature is an angry scrawl across the paper. Will there be anything else? Sir? Julien asks, his voice the perfect blend of professional courtesy. No, Bradley growls, snatching back his credit card. Nothing else. He stands, not making eye contact with anyone. His friends remain seated, clearly planning to stay. Brad, man, we already ordered food, one explains weakly. Fine. Enjoy your fancy French crap. Bradley jams his cowboy hat back on his head. I'm going to find a real restaurant. As Bradley storms toward the exit, Julien follows at a respectful distance. Mr. Turner, Julien calls just as Bradley reaches the door. Bradley stops but doesn't turn around. Your receipt, sir. I wouldn't want you to forget it. Bradley snatches the paper from Julien's outstretched hand. For a moment, their eyes meet. In Julien's, there's no triumph, no smugness. Just the quiet confidence of a man who knows his worth. Merci for visiting Le Château Bistro, Julien says. Enjoy the rest of your evening. The door closes behind Bradley with a gentle click. Julien straightens his already perfect tie and turns back to the dining room. The gentle hum of conversation resumes, the momentary drama already fading into the background of another busy night. Julien passes Bradley's friends, who look up somewhat sheepishly. "Gentlemen, have you decided what you'd like to order this evening?" "We'll have whatever you recommend," one says quickly, "and we apologize for our friend." Julien smiles genuinely. "No apology necessary. It happens more often than you might think." As Julien moves away, the mayor traidee approaches, a knowing glint in his eye. Another satisfied customer, Monsieur Tremblay? A learning opportunity, Henri, for everyone involved. At the bar, a couple who witnessed the entire scene raises their glasses in a subtle toast to Julien. He acknowledges them with a gracious nod. "Will we see Mr. Cowboy Hat again?" Henri asks. "I suspect not," Julien replies, moving toward the kitchen. "But if we do, we'll be ready." Henri finishes with a smile. The kitchen doors swing open to reveal a bustling team of chefs working in perfect harmony. They glance up as Julien enters, a few offering knowing smirks. "All is well?" the sous chef asks. "All is well," Julien confirms. "Now, we have hungry guests to feed." He takes a chef's coat from a hook and slips it on over his suit. In one smooth motion, he transforms from front-of-house manager back to executive chef. Outside on the street, Bradley stands alone under a streetlight, staring at his receipt. A light snow begins to fall, dusting his shoulders and hat. In the window of Le Château Bistro, he can see his friends laughing, raising glasses, clearly having a wonderful time without him. He crumples the receipt and shoves it into his pocket. As he turns to walk away, a couple approaches the restaurant. "Excuse me," the woman asks. "Is this place any good?" Bradley opens his mouth, ready to launch into a tirade. But something stops him. Perhaps the memory of Julien's calm dignity in the face of his own rudeness. "Yeah," he says finally. "The owner really knows what he's doing." With that, Bradley Turner walks away into the snowy Montreal night, a slightly wiser man than he was 2 hours ago.